Asante DJ, asante, asante.
Now I continue. The Jubilee Party has subsequently passed new laws that will gut many current electoral safeguards and also severely limit the powers of the Supreme Court to annul an election. It will also diminish the authority of the chairman of the Electoral Commission by making and allowing any member of the commission to announce the results of a presidential election. Uhuru has been dangling the bill over our heads, threatening to sign it into law if we do not participate in the elections. The path Uhuru and Ruto are taking is a beaten one. It is the same path that Yahya Jammeh tried in Gambia, what Blaise Compaoré tried in Burkina Faso, and what Laurent Gbagbo tried in Ivory Coast before their careers ended abruptly and in utter shame. To establish electoral autocracy, all that a regime needs is a compliant electoral body and system, which Jubilee has in IEBC, and a compliant judiciary, a brutal police, and a cowed citizenry. Fellow Kenyans, the judiciary has stood up for the Constitution and the rule of law in our country. In response, Uhuru and Ruto have openly threatened the judges. A day after the ruling by the Supreme Court in September, Uhuru said the following, and I quote, "We shall revisit this thing. We clearly have a problem. Who have even elected you? We have a problem and we must fix it." End of quote. He was addressing the Supreme Court judges who ruled against him. He has referred to the judges as crooks and likened them to coup plotters. And today, the muzzling of the Supreme Court was clearly seen to be taking shape. As opposition, we have tried to cure the problem of a compliant electoral body by coming up with what we call the irreducible minimums to help reform the IEBC and create a level playing field. In response, the IEBC first stonewalled, focusing on inconsequential measures while contending that there was insufficient time to do anything significant. Then in recent days, it has published what it claims to have done to meet our demands, without any chance to verify those claims. NASA has no reason to trust their validity. As we all know, opacity, doublespeak, and subterfuge have remained IEBC's lifeblood. Fellow Kenyans, we are at war with two autocrats, Uhuru and Ruto. Vicious, reckless, bitter, corrupt, and hungry for power. We have seen them unleash unprecedented and unreasonable terror on citizens across the country, and especially in Nairobi and Western Kenya, in the lead up to, during, and after the August elections. We have seen them rope in militia, dress them in police attire, and arm them and unleash them on protesters with deadly consequences. As we speak, truckloads of paramilitary and police officers have been deployed to commit massacre, especially in Western Kenya and Nairobi, where the sole purpose of protecting an illegitimate hold onto power by Uhuru and Ruto. We have seen none other than the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, sanction the deployment of militias in Kisii and other parts of Nyanza to complement what Mungiki will be doing in Nairobi. The murders that have occurred during recent protests, together with those committed immediately after August elections, were clearly premeditated and carefully planned to annihilate the people and make them accept a stolen election as a fait accompli. Uhuru and Ruto are looking for a cowed and subdued citizenry in order to roll out a dictatorship. Fellow Kenyans, As we have said before, dictatorships once established do not reform themselves. We belong in the category of those who refuse to give up our basic rights and civil liberties, the right to speak out, to assemble, to protest, to organize, to travel freely in and out of the country, to associate, to criticize government without fear or favor, and to live as free men and women. What will happen in this country tomorrow may well mark the end of the ballot as a means of establishing government. The question we must ask ourselves is, where does Kenya go from here once we allow a dictatorship to establish itself? Fellow Kenyans, Archbishop Desmond Tutu told us this, and I quote, "If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor." Centuries ago, an Irish statesman, author, and philosopher, Edmund Burke, told us, "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." NASA refuses to be neutral and therefore be on the same side with the oppressor. We equally refuse to be the good men and women who did nothing when evil took root. Tomorrow, therefore, we return to our original assignment. That assignment at the start of the current journey was and remains that we will be the people who will end electoral fraud in all of Africa, that will uproot the evil culture of sham elections with predetermined outcomes. We fought for multi-parties and a new constitution, and we won. Thank you. Now I invite our leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga.